This is Social Cognition and You. Take a look at web-based social cognition, how cultures relate to our perceptions and others as well as ourselves, and if these perceptions vary across cultures. Web-based cognition, social cognition. Social cognition and the internet. Social perception is how we perceive and understand others. Social cognition is how we use cognitive strategies, such as schemas, to process and apply social information. Therefore, web based social cognition is how we process, or how people process, how we process and use information about others obtained via social media and the internet, such as Facebook, Instagram, X, or TikTok. Our perceptions of others and ourselves. How does culture relate? Talk, how culture drives behaviors. Julian Burrell speaks of how when you're in a new and unfamiliar culture, you have three options and how you choose to behave. You can confront, um, so confronting others using the belief that your behaviors are right behaviors and theirs are wrong. You could complain and isolate yourself into social bubbles of foreignness, living in segregation with society, or you could conform. You could choose to adapt, observe, learn, understand, and adopt the behaviors of others and change your own behavior so that it fits into the society that you're in. Being from America, knowing that if we go to a country where there are levels of socialization, the social awkwardness for an American in a country that is not a um, I make friends with you because I see you on the street country can be difficult. He gave examples of being in um, Norway where they are a more separate people, and it's not that they aren't friendly, it's that they have a different level of how they socialize. And I found that quite interesting. Cross cultures. This is a cross cultural perceptions. Do perceptions vary from culture to culture? The short answer is absolutely. Every culture has their own way of communication and socializations. And some cultures are very hands on, while others are more standoffish. Social cognition is integral to our social functioning. Being created in God's image means that we have some things in common no matter where we go. Cultures that are not predominantly Christian will still have reverent and religious practices weaved into their own culture. So just because they believe differently than we do doesn't mean that they are wrong. It just means that it's different. And so their culture and their perception of culture and our culture is going to vary. Well, I chose to seek out the culture of Kenya. I do have a friend who is from Kenya who currently lives here in Texas, and I was blessed with the opportunity to get to ask him a lot of questions about how their culture worked. But I also used the website AFSUSA to discover some other cultural norms for the country of Kenya. Kenya is a communal culture. They share everything. According to the AFSUSA website, the Kenyan culture is family centric. It is a major factor when it comes to identity of their day-to-day life. Kenyans are very sociable, and when they meet, they often hug, shake hands, and stand in very close proximity to each other. The U.S. culture is A little different. We often greet our friends and close families, but and some with a hug, or even a kiss. But for those who are new to our social circles, we often greet with a handshake. Um, the U.S. is also not as family centric. They are no longer centered upon the nuclear family, or tradition. That particular tradition has diminished from the American culture, largely, but we still have that within the Christian community. They often share food and clothes and their space. They live in large extended families. The families that own lands often have two or three homes on the same property so that their grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins all live close together and share the work on the land. The women are often the ones that take care of the household tasks, and they're always ready to welcome visitors. My friend Bernard stated that they love to welcome people to their home, and it's often very much with open arms and hugs. I know that he is here in the States obtaining his degree, and so we often visit, and he is in our social circle. So we use that social ability to get to know him and get to know more about his culture as well. And so it has been a great blessing to have that cultural experience of how his culture is different from ours here. These are my references. I want to say thank you very much for your time and attention. And if you have any questions, this is how you can reach me.